Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Gamers. I'm here with the silly Steven.
Hello.
And he's got his son with him, so you can expect some interesting...
conversations, yeah. We'll have a guest today in this episode, so we'll see how this goes. Right now he's playing with a toy, and he's very curious about this thing I have on my head, so we'll see if I'm able to participate in this podcast, but if not, we'll always have your sexy voice to entertain us.
That's right, damn it. And just so you're all aware of this, I'm currently eating, so this is going to prove to be quite a professional podcast.
We're a bunch of professionals here.
Yeah, damn right. And I think by now everybody is well aware of that.
Yeah. All right, so first thing first, I want to again mention our Halloween special is coming right up in a few weeks, and we're going to talk about it more. We're going to harass you guys a lot with it because we're really proud of that feature, and I believe this year will be even better than last year. We've just finalized our list of games we're going to cover for that, and I'm pretty hyped for them. They should be even better than last year, and don't forget that sweet Until Dawn giveaway, so get hyped for that.
So what you're saying is it's going to be better than last year?
That's what I'm saying. That's a promise.
Actually, yeah, this year there won't be any shaky cam footage like the Spirit camera review.
That was our best review, damn it.
It was. It got the most views. But no, like you said there, I'm glad that we finalized everything. Made my life pretty easy now. So now it's just a matter of actually, getting to work and getting these reviews done. We're pretty much got around 4 weeks, I think it is, till Halloween. Let's see.
Tomorrow is the 1st, so that should be about 4 weeks.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got 4 weeks, so that's enough. I should be able to get this together. The reason why this is a little bit challenging for those that don't know is that Steven has no means of capturing footage, so we always have to ensure that whatever games he wants to cover, I either own.
Well, I do have means, but then you'll complain about shaky camera footage.
Yeah, exactly. But no, because otherwise it just doesn't come out as good. Anyways, all right, so that I'm very much looking forward to the Halloween special, and I've got so many of these games. I think I've got enough for maybe 2 more specials, and that's not even like really thinking about it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, look forward to the Halloween special.
All right, first topic is Super Mario Maker. Have you heard about this game?
No.
No? Well, basically, if you were born in the 80s or were an early 90s kid, this is like your dream game. I didn't expect to have as much fun as I'm having right now. It's basically my game of the year so far, and I don't think it will get outclassed by anything. And I would go almost as far as saying it's the most addictive game ever. I don't know what's about this game, because I played like Little Big Planet and stuff like that, and I never was into editing levels. So when I bought that game, I thought I'd make a few levels, but mostly most of my game time would be playing other people's levels. And that's still true. I enjoy a lot playing the other levels out there, but I've so far created about 15 levels, and I just want to create more. And so does Elliot. And it's just so much fun, and the reason for that is it's so goddamn intuitive. Making a level is so easy because it's basically it's a grid-based game with block by block. So you put something in a block, and that's as easy as you can think it. And basically the game teaches you how to play very simple. So basically, when you start, you only have a few objects, few blocks, few enemies you can play. But the more you play, the more you unlock stuff. And it takes about 9 to 10 days to unlock everything if you go slow. If you play like I did, you'll basically have everything unlocked in a few days. Because they were very smart about... They got some complaints before the game came out, because originally... And Elliot really wants to chime in here. I don't know if you're hearing him.
Yeah, of course. This is entertaining.
Yeah, it is. And originally, you were supposed to unlock everything. It was supposed to, no matter how much you played, it was going to take 10 days. They removed it because they got complaints, and I'm glad they did. Basically, the more you play, the more you get, so you can get the stuff quicker, but you still are not overwhelmed, if that makes any sense. And
yeah.
it's really a blast to play. And you only have Mario and New Super Mario Brothers. You can create levels. And I don't know if you remember, but all the Mario games that are in here, which is Mario, Mario World, Mario 3, and New Super Mario Brothers, they all have different gameplay mechanics. For example, in New Super Mario Brothers, you can wall jump, which you can't do in any of the other games, I believe. I'm not sure about Mario World. I'd have to double check, but I don't think you can wall jump in Mario World. Can you?
No, you can't.
And in Mario World, you can kick shells upwards, for example, which is the only game that you can do that out of the entire series. And in Mario 3, it introduced flying that you can't do in Mario 1. So there's tons of different stuff. The physics are all different, so it's basically like you're making levels for 4 different type of games. But, well, not type, but 4 different games. So it's amazing. But the thing is, if you have a friend or two that's playing this game, like basically, I did a game night. Like when the game came around, I did a game night. And three of my friends came. 2 of them already had Wii U's, and they both bought the game the next day. That's how much fun it is. And then they started making their own levels. So basically, every day when I come back from work, I check to see if they have any other levels that they made. So I try to complete them, because when you complete them, you have a red flag on it, and that red flag is basically like a Medal of Honor for me. Because their plan is basically to make the hardest levels possible, and they want you to destroy your remote. And that's what is happening. One of my friends, one of his levels, I still can't complete it, and it's pissing me off, but I want that red flag besides it. So yeah, once you finally get... Hey, hein? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, mon bébé? Hein? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Tu veux pas que papa y parle? Alright, so once you finally get your hands on that game and you start like trying my levels and making your own, I know you'll have a blast. And it's just like the community feature is so awesome. And I don't know if you've seen like some YouTube videos, people are creating like the most crazy levels out there. And he's currently grabbing my headphones, and this was a very bad idea.
No, this was a brilliant idea. This is going to be the highest viewed podcast ever.
Awesome. So basically, there's this guy who's he's a pro Mario player. Like, he creates and makes level online from hacks and stuff like that. And he basically created a level that took him 3 hours. And the way that Nintendo has made this is that it's impossible to publish a level that is unbeatable. So you have to be able to beat it at least once. Okay. You have to be able to you have to be able to beat it at least once. And this guy, his level, he created it, his own level. It took him 9 hours to be able to beat it, to be able to upload it, just to show you how crazy this level is. And there were at the point, it was 100,000 tries without a single clear. And another thing that I wanted to mention, it was a week after the game was released, there was already 1 million levels online. And I think they compared this to Little Big Planet, who took 8 years to get to 5 million. So I think this game is going to be a huge success for Nintendo, and I really, really hope they make a 3DS version. And I'm going to let you talk a little so I can try to entertain my little son here.
That's a shame. I was enjoying that. But, no, this was something that, I know... I haven't played Mario in a while now, so it's going to be... I'm going to die, instantly right away on, even the most basic levels. But once I get back into it, once you get the mechanics down and the physics and all that, I can see this being a ridiculously addicting game. And it was just because I played this at my friend's place, and now my little guy's crying. I don't know what's going on today. And anyway, and I had a blast, just with the simplicity of the creation tools and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something. Now, if Nintendo cooperates and YouTube cooperates and we don't get any BS, I don't care about monetizing the videos. It's more I just don't want a Dragon Quest type of thing where as soon as I put the video on, it, boom, you get not a copyright strike necessarily, but just that you can't see it. They'll ban the video. I hate that crap. So we're going to do some tests. Probably by the time you guys watch this, we've either successfully completed said test or it'll be shortly thereafter. But no, definitely I can see this being extremely addicting.
Yeah, because what we're talking about is that we plan to do a Let's Play Super Mario Maker series where we will do basically around 5 to 6 or maybe 10 episodes. We'll see whatever the success are and how much fun Jarrod is having. But I want him to do a few episodes on my levels, and then I would like to is if you guys have made any levels on that, send them in and we'll play them on an episode and stuff. So we'll see if Nintendo allows us to upload them. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game, and I'm really hoping that we can upload some Let's Plays of it.
Exactly. Now, what would be really cool is if you could do the same.
Yeah, but there's no way we could record my footage, which is what the problem would be.
Exactly, because the only thing is, like, with traditional Let's Plays, not a problem. You know, like you're moving a story along and this and that, everything else. My only thing with this is, I don't know, it's not that it'll get boring because it's going to be all new levels and things like that. It's just that it would be, for me anyways, it would be more entertaining to have like the dual commentary sort of thing. But
I'm sure we could figure it out. Like if we're doing a podcast right now, we could probably, while you're playing, record each other or something, reaction. We'll see. We'll figure something out, but we'll just, first off, we need to test if it works. And then we can work on the formula.
No, exactly. That's the most important thing right now is just to see if this is something that we can do. Because if we can, then that's interesting. Then that's quite a bit of content that we'll have. We'll have quite a nice schedule going there. Right now I'm going crazy trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to catch up, because going to Portugal, while it was great and I really enjoyed it and I want to do that, going to try and do that on a yearly basis, maybe not going to Portugal, but having like 2 weeks to just disconnect. The problem is, though, now that I'm completely caught up, I have nothing in the backlog, and that sucks because it means that I have to have videos come out, or, you know, you guys, the content will be interrupted, and I don't want to do that because it's been like pretty much a year, or maybe even more now, where we've had content for the Saturn Day and the Retro Wednesdays like fairly constant.
Yeah, even Dragon Quest, I think will be a year anniversary soon, if it hasn't already.
Yeah, well, no, it's, I think I have recorded up to, let's see, I have it written here. I have up to part 48, so that's 48 weeks. So almost a year. That's crazy, man. Never did I ever think we were going to get that one done.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. My second topic I don't know how much you'll be into this, but we've talked before a bit about that, and that's Toys to Life games, because Lego Life Dimensions was just released. And I know you've been a huge fan of Disney Infinity in the past, and you were a fan of Amiibos when it started, and we know how messy that situation got. I was always curious about Skylanders, especially now that they've released a new one, which has exclusive Nintendo figurines for the Wii U version. And I wanted to try it, but then I was like, I can't. I have no space here, and if I start buying them, I know myself, I'll buy all the figures and whatnot, and I'm not a multimillionaire here. But this Lego Life Dimensions game has potential because, like, when you talk about Amiibo, basically Amiibo is just for collecting, because it doesn't really add anything to the gameplay, at least not yet. Skylanders and Disney Infinity, for what I've seen videos, are basically very basic games. They're not, especially, like, you wouldn't play these games without the figurines. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I can only talk about Disney Infinity, and Disney Infinity, the way it works is the figures themselves don't do jack.
No, but I mean, without the figures, would you buy a game that would be the gameplay for Disney Infinity, but without the collectability aspects of the figures?
No, I don't think so.
That's what I wanted to say. And I'm pretty sure that Skylanders is pretty much the same thing. Like, the figures make the game that more enjoyable, especially for kids. But the gameplay itself, without the figures, is not that impressive. That's what I think it is. I haven't played them, so I could be wrong. Feel free to tell me I'm an asshole in the comments.
You're an asshole.
All right. But for Lego Dimensions, the thing is, apparently it's like the Lego games. And the Lego games themselves, while they're not the best games ever, they're all pretty solid games and enjoyable by kids and adults. But they also add, like, the building aspects of Legos. We've all had the Legos when we were kids. Some of us still play with Legos, and they're awesome. It's like a brand that's recognized worldwide. And that's why I think this has such huge potential, is that The figures themselves will be a lot of fun to play and collect, plus the game will be amazing, and it has characters from all over the place. It has, like, superheroes from DC. It has Homer Simpson for The Simpsons. It has Back to the Future characters. It has, like, tons of stuff from all over the place, so it's not like Disney, which is limited to... Well, it's not limited because it also has, like, Star Wars and Marvel, but it's limited to the Disney brand. And Nintendo, obviously, is mostly limited to the Nintendo brand. Skylanders, well, they're kind of making new stuff, but this thing is like... I wouldn't be surprised if we see Marvel characters in that game, even though Disney is making their own Marvel toys, so we're not sure, but it's like everybody wants to be in that Lego game, so I'm really curious what you think about that potential for the series, because they're probably not going to... Eventually, they're going to stop making Lego games and just concentrate on, like... these stories and creating DLC for that game.
Someone dislikes...
Yeah, he wants to play with that cable. Probably going to unplug my headphones now.
So, I don't know, like, how I feel about all these things. I mean, with the Amiibos, that's a totally different thing. That got ridiculous so quick that I stopped, like, pretty much, wave 3, something like that. I was just like, all right, that's enough of that. The Disney Infinity ones were pretty cool, and from my understanding, so is the Skylanders ones. What I really liked with the Disney Infinity was, like, the play sets. I really enjoyed how you could just put, like, a little toy on, and that would unlock a whole new, basically, game. So I thought that was pretty cool. And with this Lego one, I know nothing about it. So I'd have to really check that out, but that sounds pretty cool. I'd have to see what the gimmick is, like how exactly does it work, because with Skylanders, basically you, at least from my understanding, and again, you guys in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong, but my understanding was that with Skylanders, each new character simply was a new character, but the game itself didn't change necessarily, but like, let's say one character had the ability to, say, like blow fire. It had like a Metroid aspect where that character could, access certain areas of the game world that other characters couldn't. With Disney Infinity, you had individual play sets where certain characters, say like the Avengers, their play set, you could only use those characters in the play set, and then they had this build your own game sort of world like Little Big Planet, and that's where, which they called the toy box, and that's where you could use every single character. So I'm kind of curious to see what is Lego's gimmick. Like, what is it? How does it work? Is it just one base game, and then these characters, like, what do they add to the game, basically?
Yeah, well, I haven't played the game, obviously, so I can't really answer that, but it sounds like a pretty cool game, and like, I know you're going to cover this Infinity 3, so maybe I'll convince you to cover that game too. We'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, really, it all depends. I'm pretty sure I've got Disney Infinity 3.0 coming, but from what I've read, they really skimped on the starter set. Like, before used to include, I think it was 3 characters plus a playset. Now they've skimmed it down to 2 characters.
Yeah, you're right. I've seen the game in stores, and it's 2 characters. Yeah, it's 2 Star Wars characters. I believe it's Anakin and one of the cartoon characters, whatever it's called there, the Clone Wars or whatever. But it's a female character. But yeah, it's only 2.
So that's the thing. So I'm not going to have much variety. And I'll be honest, I'm not buying any more of these things because I have a bag with maybe 80 of the different toys. If you include, because in that bag there are a whole bunch of Amiibos, plus there's a whole bunch of, well, not a whole bunch, every single toy from the Avengers line, at least, of Disney Infinity 2.0. And I know with Star Wars I would go even more crazy and buy all of them. So, yeah, no, it's just way too much money.
Perfect. And that was about it for my subjects. I believe you had 1 or 2 you wanted to talk about.
Do I really? Okay, well, the main thing that I really wanted to talk about today was just wanted to talk a little bit about one company that I really like. Well, I should say I liked in the past, And I mentioned it in the vlog I did the other day. And anyways, I'm talking about SNK Playmore. They actually got bought out by a Chinese publisher of... I don't even think they're a game publisher. I think they're... I forget what the heck it is. It's some weird thing. Like, they're nothing to do with games. You know what I mean? Like, it's some totally different... and so when I read that, I was like, well, like, that's pretty much it. They're gonna, keep focusing on pachinko machines and mobile because this company wants to extend their portfolio or expand their portfolio into other categories and stuff like that. So I wasn't very hopeful that we'd see, another, like, say, KOF or whatever. But to my surprise, when I came back from Portugal, I was in the custom lineup, which was utterly ridiculous. There was literally a bajillion people there. And so I was looking through some of the announcements that were made during the Tokyo Game Show. And, well, one of the big announcements, and there's another one that I will talk about in just a sec, the one that caught my eye right away was I saw that the King of Fighters XIV was announced. And I was like, what? Really? And so I clicked on that, and apparently it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. And they even had a 30-second teaser trailer where you saw Iori and Kyo, and it looked like crap. It really did not look that great. I just didn't like the art style. I found it looked very, very primitive. They've gone full 3D now, but I think from what you could see sort of in the trailer, it sort of looks like Mortal Kombat X or Street Fighter V. In other words, it's full 3D, but I believe it still plays in a 2D plane. And I mean, they only showed literally 30 seconds, and it was just the two of them fighting. And I don't know, it just did not look that great at all. What did you think?
I actually didn't watch anything. A friend of mine told me about this, and I got excited. Then he said it was 3D, and as soon as he said it wasn't 3D, I didn't care anymore. I don't know why. I want KOF in 2D. It's just how I imagine it, and I don't know. I got so disappointed at the fact that it was 3D. I don't know if it's gonna be 3D gameplay like Tekken and Soul Calibur, or if it's gonna, like you say, on a 2D plane. We'll see. But I don't want it in 3D. I don't know. It's just King of Fighters, I believe, should stay 2D.
And that is exactly the way I feel. I don't know. I've been a fan of KOF for a very long time, and King of Fighters 13, yeah, some people didn't like the art style, but man, I loved how smooth it was, and I was really hoping that if they were gonna take it 3D, they were gonna do it like Guilty Gear Xrd, which is 3D, but it's cel shaded, so it still's animated. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely beautiful, and I was really hoping that because for a long time I thought there wasn't going to be another King of Fighters. So I was amazed. I am amazed that KOF 14 is actually coming out, but I am tremendously disappointed that they're going with a completely different art style, and I'm almost positive it's going to play like Street Fighter 5. I'm 90% sure they're not going to go Tekken. It makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I had a blast with KOF 13. Actually played the heck out of that game. Never got good, but was a fun fighter. So I really, really hope they nail this game, but we'll see.
Oh, someone is very upset.
Yeah, he's very upset because he was playing with my mic a bit too much. So
he took it away.
I'm gonna go take a walk with him. Let's see.
He's going to go take a walk, and I'm going to talk about the other announcement that was made, which was, well, there were actually quite a few announcements made, but the one that I want to talk about, anyway, is the fact that Gravity Rush, I don't know if you guys remember that. That was I want to say an earlier PlayStation Vita game. It's not entirely true. I think it came out like the second year of the system's release, something like that. Anyway, whatever. They're actually remastering or remaking or whatever you want to call it. They're redoing Gravity Rush for the PlayStation 4, and it's going to be coming out in North America and in Japan. They actually put up a collector's edition in Japan with a nice statue or figure or whatever. But they did confirm that it will be coming out in North America. And then they announced Gravity Rush 2. And again, for the PlayStation 4. Now, a lot of people that I was reading comments online were very upset about this. Basically saying, like, well, why the hell would you do that? Why wouldn't it be on the PS Vita and this and that and everything else? And then we actually got some information from Sony about that. And basically what they said is the PlayStation Vita, for all intents and purposes, is dead. And that they don't really have any plans, at least not in the immediate future, to come up with a successor to the PlayStation Vita. So it looks like Sony is going to be exiting the dedicated portable gaming hardware, and I don't think this requires a PhD to sort of, say like, yeah, okay, the writing's been on the wall for a very long time now. There's been no first-party releases from Sony for a while for the PlayStation Vita. I think the last notable one, and I might be wrong, again, you guys can correct me, but I think it was Freedom Wars, which was last year, I think, it came out. I reviewed that one using the PlayStation TV, and even the PS TV, like that gadget had some serious promise, but they ditched that awfully quick, and there's just been no support at all for the Vita, so I'm not surprised in the least that they will not be making a follow-up to the Vita. And I'm not surprised at all that they're now going to try and bring some of those hits over to the PlayStation 4. I mean, it makes sense. They did it with Tearaway, which was a very good game. And now they're going to be doing it with Gravity Rush. And I think a lot of people are really going to like that game. It was a really fun, unique game. And I think it's going to translate not too bad over to the PlayStation 4. So when that one comes out, I'm definitely going to go ahead and check that out. And I'm not surprised, and I don't think anyone should be surprised that the Vita, not that the Vita, but that there won't be a successor to the Vita. So what do you think of this, Steven, if you heard any of that?
Yeah, I think that was anybody could have predicted that. It was pretty easy to see. And like the way they're bringing games over the PS4, they did that with the PSP at the end of its life too, so it's... And they basically said that they believe that the handheld market is not profitable because of mobile phones and whatnot. So they said that they'd like eventually to come back if they see that the market is healthy. But they pretty much said they will never come back. They just left themselves a little door open just for the sake of it. But yeah, like it is what it is. Like nobody was surprised by that, but pretty big news. But we all saw it coming, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I will be very surprised to see Nintendo's next machines, because, I mean, Sony's not wrong in saying that the dedicated portable market right now, it's not an easy one. Yes, the 3DS has been, extremely successful, but can Nintendo do that again? And if they can, will it be as successful as the 3DS, or are we going to start to continue to see that downward trend? Because, I mean, let's face it, there's no way of arguing this fact, but mobile is here to stay. A lot of people were like, oh, it's just, it's like a gimmick for gaming. It's not really going to take off. Well, I don't think so. It now makes up, I forget the last thing, I think it was like 23% of the entire gaming industry, like profits that come from mobile. I might be wrong. It might be a little bit more, but that's significant.
Yeah, it's even affecting consoles, I believe, now. Like you can look at Konami, which I'm not saying that Konami exited the console market exclusively because of mobile, but a lot of companies, especially Japanese companies, are now thinking mobile first, consoles second.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very funny sound that's coming from that mic.
Yeah, so I think we're going to end the podcast here. I think we did a pretty good job, and because Elliot is really making it hard on me right now, so I'm pretty sure like the sound of my part will sound terrible once you record it, so I apologize for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll leave you with the last words.
All right. Yeah, this was an interesting podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully you enjoyed, and with any luck, what you'll be seeing with this podcast will be Mario Maker. So that's pretty much it, and we'll see you all in the next podcast, and get hyped, guys. We got a really excellent Halloween special for you this year. And we're going to, like I said last year, we're going to try and keep going for as long as we possibly can with this. Eventually, though, it's going to get, extremely hard selecting certain titles and things like that. But you know what? Maybe one day we'll leave it open for you guys to decide what we tackle. Anyways, until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, as Steven always says. And now I copy him. Bye-bye.